Good morning. This is Paul Romero with SellaHouseArizona.com here with the SellaHouse Wholesale Training Series number, gosh, where are we? Six on our list here?
Yeah, we're up to six.
Yep, six on our list. Okay. Um, just as always, kind of going to open this up. Oh, by the way, sorry. Guess who's with us today? Yeah. Say hi, John.
How's everyone doing today? Well, Paul, congratulations for being here on this call.
Hey, awesome. Thank you. You're awesome yourself. Especially for you because you couldn't make it last time. So, um, anyway, as always, I just kind of want to open up by letting you know that real estate wholesaling is something that literally anyone can do. I mean, and we are the living proof of that because we are just two guys from construction. We could very easily be, a gal from nursing or a dude from the kitchen, or, we could be a chick from the deli counter or, a greeter from Walmart or a barista from a coffee shack. I mean, we could be a retired person fresh out of school, working, unemployed, age, your sex, your race, your religion, your job, your background, where you were born, how you were raised, what you were taught. None of that makes any difference whatsoever. Um, it really only comes down to one thing, and that is what and how you think. And is this your burning desire? Is this your passion? Do you want it? And we're the guys who can basically give it to you on a silver platter, the easy way, starting from the core and getting right into closing deals and cashing checks and learning all of the exterior stuff that generally most everyone else tries to teach you first and let you figure your own way to get to the meat. Um, we're doing it the opposite way here. So that's us. We're the living proof, the living help, and welcome aboard. I hope that our trainings here are everything that you need to get you excited about believing in wholesale real estate and knowing that if this was your somehow thinking this might be your passion or this might be your way to change your life, that you have a great opportunity here to actually make it a reality. And with that, I just want to kind of recap. We've been the last couple of days, John missed last time, but we've been focusing on sort of the tools that, as a real estate wholesaler, that you'll need to have in place to get started. And we talked about the business name, the business cards, the email, and the LLC, and the importance of tying all those together with a branding concept. We started to get into where we're going to go a little bit deeper today, which is really kind of what you're going to get from us when you sign up to with the SellaHouse team, and because you're obviously going to want to know what you don't have to go out and get everything. We're going to give you a lot of it. That's where we want to go. So we're going to kind of focus today on what you're going to get from us, and then we're going to have one more call based on these tools, and we're going to go into that is some of the other things that you're eventually going to want to have that you don't necessarily have to have right now, but you're going to want to put them on your list, right below your LLC as you progress in this business for things that you're going to want to be adding, as soon as you get the opportunity to do so. So with all that, I'm going to let John catch up on this a little bit and give us his quick ideas about what we've already covered, because, like I said, this is a key important factor that really not enough people, I think, spend their time on and develop and create properly. And realistically, that's probably a determining factor as to who succeeds and who doesn't. Because if you go about this haphazardly, what are the chances that you're going to do anything else, that's going to be successful in doing what you want to achieve here? So, John, your thoughts upon the business branding aspect of becoming a real estate wholesaler?
All right. Well, thanks, Paul. Yes, we've covered a lot so far in the short series, and I mean we've got a lot more to cover. I just want to talk about when you come aboard the SellaHouse Arizona team, you really need nothing to get started with us except your desire to succeed. We're going to start you from zero and bring you to hero in this business. But there are some tools that you're going to need moving forward once you get started with us that you're going to need to develop for yourself. Now, you don't have to get hung up on all these things right out the gate, but these are things that you're going to want to pay attention to as you move forward. Just remember, though, when you get started with SellaHouse Arizona team, you don't need any of this in place yet, just to get going and start with the meat and start closing deals, which is where we want to take people. But Paul had mentioned that it's very important from the get-go that you really start thinking about your brand, who you are, what you're going to offer the marketplace, and what's your unique selling product. That starts with a business name. You're going to want to pick a business name, develop a business name that expresses what it is that you are going to be doing and offering the marketplace. So that's kind of number one thing to start thinking about is, what's my business name and how does that reflect my unique selling proposition and what I want to accomplish and what I have to offer the marketplace. Then you're going to want to develop your brand through taking that business names, creating a logo, creating a look to it, and going ahead and getting some business cards made so that when you're up there talking to people, knocking on doors, working with sellers, working with your buyers, you have something to give them that has your branding on it, your name on it, your contact information. Then once you've got that established, what you want is a business name and your logo and moving on to cards, you're going to want to get yourself a limited liability corporation, an LLC, and that's for asset protection and also for removing yourself from any liability and for tax purposes. There's a lot about that which we'll cover as we move forward, but that's the general thing is you want to take that name and now create an LLC. You're going to want to then make sure from the get-go, once you've got your name established, you're going to want to open an email account. I would recommend Gmail, and we covered a lot of the reasons why in the previous episodes here, that the reason you want a Gmail account, in my opinion, and Paul's as well, is that they offers you a whole array of just amazing tools for free that you can use to build your business. So that would be the next step, would be to have a professional sounding email account that reflects your business name and reflects your willingness to have a professional look when you're in the marketplace. So overall, you're going to start, like I said, wanting to think about your branding from the beginning, from your business name to your email account.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just going to put two quick stress points on that. And number one is back to the email again, because we keep talking about a Google Gmail account. And you know what? The reason why we keep talking about this is because I'm sure you realize how big Google is when it comes to the internet. Okay? And you know, Google Gmail is Google Gmail. And, you know, when it comes to the internet, Google likes Google. So the more you get tied into Google, the more opportunity you're going to have moving forward to take full advantage of whatever the internet has to offer that is Google-based. And trust me when I tell you, there's going to be a day pretty soon that the internet is pretty much probably just known as Google. There will be no World Wide Web, there will be no internet, it'll just be Google because they're just really literally taking over the world. So the next thing John mentioned was logos. Great concept that you're definitely going to want to have a logo, but again, a logo is going to be something that's pretty permanent. You can get started in this business with just your business name on business cards without a real logo, something you definitely want to be thinking about and producing, and you know, preferably maybe by the time you get around to the LLC, excuse me, have that developed. But don't jump the gun on a logo and create something that you end up having to live with that maybe you're not really too happy about. So take your time on the logo. Excuse me. A little bit of my breakfast shake going the wrong way there. So the next thing we want to talk about, like I said, is we're going to get into what it is that you get when you join the SellaHouse team. Okay, you can go out there and you can buy programs. You can get probably pretty cheap these days because, quite frankly, they don't really work that well anymore because they're outdated. That's why they're giving them away so cheap that you can buy these things for $200 or less. Reason why we're giving our stuff away for free, well, that's another story. But you can go out and buy programs. You can do, and you can get a lot of stuff with them, which basically same things that we're going to offer you here. What we're about to tell you that you're going to get when you join the SellaHouse team. But again, like I said, the difference between what you have with the other programs is basically when you go out and get a program, you're getting the education about a tool or a specific system, a one sort of specific avenue to approach wholesaling from. And there's a whole program built around it and everything else. And you get all of the information about how to set this up and where to start and what kind of marketing to put out and this, that, and the other thing. But then you're pretty much left to go figure it out for yourself. So again, I can't reiterate enough. We're flipping the script on that. We're taking you right into doing deals and all that stuff that you had to learn right from the beginning and the other programs. Don't worry about it. You're going to learn it as time goes by, as you're cashing checks and putting money in your bank. So when you sign up with us, the first thing that you're going to get from us is a great little ebook that one of my mentors and I have co-authored, and we're going to give you an e-version copy of that will give you a nice little fun reading overview of really how simple real estate wholesaling is. But again, it's a very simple overview of the nuts and bolts, and quite frankly, it's a very simple overview of how to get all that other stuff and work your own way into the core. So it's just going to give you a really good overview of where, once you're in the center, once we take you to the meat of cash and checks, of the things that you're going to be looking for to expand upon and grow as you better yourself in this business. So that's the first thing you're going to get from us. And the second thing you're going to get from us is some contracts, and John's going to talk about that a little bit.
Right. Well, one of the biggest hang-ups people have that I've spoke to other aspiring wholesalers is hung up on what happens if someone actually says yes to my offer. What do I do? How do I contract the property? What do I have them sign? I don't understand. It's one of the simplest yet most intimidating aspects of real estate is the contract. Contracts don't have to be that difficult. Really, it can be quite simple, straightforward, and written in plain language. And one of the things that we offer you as part of the SellaHouse Arizona team is that you don't get hung up on what to do when someone's ready to sign a contract because you've got them tucked into a sale price. We'll provide you that contract. We've got a dynamite contract that we've closed all our deals with here in Arizona. It's something that me and Paul have developed over the last couple of years. It's been approved by attorneys. It's been approved by title companies, and it works very well, and it's in plain and simple language that your seller can understand and that you can understand. So when you're explaining it to your seller, you have no question what's laid out as far as closing that deal goes. It's not a 14-page contract that the realtors use. It's a 3-page contract that is very simple to understand and very effective. Well, when you're at that point where you're ready to contract a property, me and Paul will provide this for you. Now, if you're not in the state of Arizona, things can change slightly. There's differences in each state, different nuances. So we'll have to construct something for you if you're in another state and you're working with us on wholesaling and you're at that point to close a deal and you're in another state. Well, no problem there. What we have is a basic outline. We would just need to talk to a title company or a real estate attorney in your state just to hash out any bugs. And that is also something me and Paul are actually willing to do for you, is to do that groundwork in your state so that you can focus on closing deals and let us focus on putting together these contracts that are both approved by the attorneys and the title companies in your state. And that's another thing that we're going to offer you, so you don't get hung up on what to do next when you have a seller agree to your sale price.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, I do want to add one little caveat to that, in the fact that basically you kind of let on that we will pretty much handle the whole contract situation for them if need be. We'll facilitate that, but we're still going to throw you into the mix because this is actually part of your growth pattern as well, is for you to be a part of all of this stuff. So whether you like it or not, the very first thing that is going to possibly be a little bit uncomfortable for you is the whole idea of getting your contracts secured and in place. But we're going to work you through it step by step. We're going to lay a lot of the groundwork for you. We're going to make it real easy, but we're going to throw you into a potentially uncomfortable situation, and we're going to do that purposely. That's for your own good. So you know what? Sit back and take it. The next thing that you're going to get when you join with us is what? Oh yeah, your title company. Right along the lines with what John was saying just a minute ago, with finishing up with the contracts in there. And one thing that you have to have in place is a title company. Now, some of your states I know do closings through attorneys. So title company attorney equals the same thing here. We're talking about a closing agency or a closing entity. So whatever state you happen to be in, if you can use a title company, that's great. If you have to use an attorney, then we're going to get you lined up with having a closing attorney on board that will do the things that you need to do as far as a wholesaler, which basically, we're going to give you some of the outlines as to the types of questions to ask, so that you'll know whether or not that this company or attorney is going to be the type of person who is willing to do the concepts of wholesaling and be able to get you and actually close your deals for you. And basically what we're talking about here is assignments and double closings for the most part. There's some other things as well involved as well too. They're a little bit more deeper concepts, which we'll get into later. But John's going to kind of give you a quick little overview of what we're talking about here with an assignment and a double closing, so that you have a general idea of what it is that you're going to be looking for your title agency or your attorney to be wanting to do for you.
Right. I will tell you from experience, not all title companies and closing attorneys will do the type of transaction as wholesalers will need to do, which Paul had mentioned, the assignments and the double close. So we're going to have to go out and find title companies that will perform the transactions the way we need it done. That is simply, we're really looking at the generalized concept here is we're doing an assignment or a double close. Basically, what we're doing is we're going out and we're making an offer to a seller and we're getting them under contract. Okay? We're not actually going to be the ones purchasing the property. We're either going to do, number one, assign that sales and purchase agreement, basically through an assignment of contract, which is another contract, which is used to assign the purchase and sale agreement with our seller to another buyer, and we're going to assign that for a fee. That's the basic general concept, and we'll get more into the explanation, the meat of that as we go through this process. But that's one way to close. And we need to make sure we're working with a title company that will work with assignments of contract. The other way to close is a double closing, and all that means is that we are going to be purchasing that property ourselves from the seller that we've contracted, but we are going to close it on the same day that we're closing with our buyer. So we have our buyer under contract to purchase from us, and we are going to do a double closing, meaning we are instantaneously closing with our seller and our buyer on the same day. Now, there's a lot of other little moving parts in there, but I just want to reiterate the simplicity or the general application of the two. And want to make sure that your title company or closing attorney will perform an assignment or a double close. And I just want to say, Paul had mentioned that we're going to give you basically the scripts and a list of the questions you'll need to ask your title company when you're going out and vetting and interviewing and trying to find one. And one point I want to make here before I turn it back to Paul and he wraps up, because I see we're at our 20 minutes already, is that I don't believe that faking it till you make it is a good strategy at all in this business. I think you get I myself and Paul can attest to this, have gotten a lot further ahead about being honest about who we are. And the reason I'm making that point is when you go and you talk to a title company about closings, don't go in there and pretend like, oh, I'm going to bring you 50 deals next week. I'm a master wholesaler. I'm a master real estate guy. And, you know, I've been doing this for years, and I'm the best, and blah, 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 and blow smoke up someone's rear. Just go in there and say, hey, I'm looking for a title company that can do assignments and double closings. I'm new at this business. I want to create a relationship because I'm serious about doing this business, and this is who I am, and this is what I'm offering, and this is what I'm looking for. And be honest about that, and you'll get a lot further, because then people will give you more information. And one other aspect of that is that, you know, never judging a book by its cover, meaning you never know who you're going to meet in this world, and somebody that's just starting out in this business may be your hugest asset moving forward. And you never want to underestimate anybody's value. And if you're moving forward as a wholesaler and someone's underestimating you because you're new and they don't want to work with you because you're new, you probably don't want to work with that person. So there's no faking it till you make it. Be honest with who you are. Take the scripts and the ideas we're going to give you. We're talking to the title company, and just go in there and be yourself and ask these questions and find someone that's willing to work with you for where and who you are today, and you will develop rewarding, long-lasting relationships. I want to turn it back to Paul to kind of add on that and kind of wrap things up for today.
Yeah, the whole fake it till you make it thing, you know, the reason why we're saying not to do that is mostly because it's basically impossible for the average person, and I'll tell you straight up, it was impossible for me when I first started at this to have the cojones to think in that manner to begin with, let alone actually walk into someone's office and try to pull it off. So, you know, unless you're the type of person who has that personality that you can transform yourself into something like that, and you can walk in there and you can pull that off like you truly are, you know, the king of wholesaling. If you want to take that route, it's not going to hurt you if you can pull it off. But most people can't. And that's why we're saying don't even try, because you know what? If you don't think you can pull it off, guess what? You're not going to pull it off. And you know what's going to happen? They're going to see right through you. They're going to realize you're a fake and a phony, and you're not going to get anywhere. And that's why your best approach is to, you know, like John said, walk in there, be who you are. You know, you're going to tell them straight up, hey, look, I'm brand new at this, all right? But this is what I want. This is my dream. This is what I'm going to make happen. And I'm looking for some people who might be able to help me and some people who I might be able to help in return. I'm not exactly sure right now even how I might be able to do that yet, but I'm sure within this business there's something that I'll be able to offer back to you. You if you're talking to the title agency, obviously number one, that's going to be to bring my closings to you so they can make money. They'll be very
Yep.
pleased. They'll be very pleased just with that. If there's something in the future that you can offer and bring more, that's great. But yeah, that's the whole thing right there. It's just all about being yourself, and we're gonna expand on that a little bit further in the next video, which is we're going to talk about a little bit further, and kind of the final one. I think we can wrap this up on the tools that you're going to need. Is we're going to go into some more of the things that you're going to want to have on your calendar, scheduled to, hey, as soon as the time comes, I want to do this, and then I want to do this, and then I want to do this. So we're going to get into that, and we're going to expand a little bit more on the being real aspect of this. And with that, our time here today is over. We're looking forward to having you here on the next call. We'll get through these tools, and once we get through these tools, then we're going to, I think, fall back and possibly expand a little bit further upon the two basic types of transaction that you'll be performing, which, as John mentioned, are the assignment of contract and the double close, because obviously that's going to be a key element. We know that it's a huge hang-up for people in the worry and the doubt as to whether or not they can do this, and we want to just squish all of that right out of the gate. So first of all, don't be letting any of that bother you for right now. We're going to get to it very shortly, and till then, you guys have a great day. All right, I'm out, John.
All right, everybody have a great day. Over and out.